Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank y'all so much for coming back. I do appreciate it. My name is Shalise. I'm a 40-year-old mama, wife, and worker bee. And my husband and I are trying to get to financial freedom and retire early in a couple years. And we're documenting our journey here on YouTube. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor or a fiduciary. I am a regular investor like you in the trenches trying to grow our money and to retire comfortably. So if you want some motivation, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And always beware of bots, scammers, fake pages. When in doubt, send me an email. My information is down below. So I wanted to answer a really good question that I got. And the person was asking, why don't I rarely talk about retirement, or not retirement, but Social Security on my channel? And why do we feel more confident investing in SCHD and talking about SCHD, but not so much Social Security? So I thought, you know what, that's a good question, because they are right. I don't talk a lot about Social Security on my channel. There's one huge reason that I don't do that, and that is because number one, I'm young. So in the eyes of the government, I'm 40 years old. If we're trying to retire early, my husband and I don't even think we could take our first early distribution of Social Security until age 62, I believe. That's 22 years away. So we don't even figure it into our plans for that reason. And also because Social Security, if you look at this article here, is it running out? Or even if it's still around, which I do believe it'll still be around, however, I don't believe it'll be able to pay out the full benefit, if that makes sense. And I will have this article linked down below because this is from CNET. This is actually a really good article talking about can Gen Z or millennial, I am a millennial, an older millennial, but I am a millennial, should we be scared about it, and will the program be around? And the article essentially says yes, the program will be around, but they will not be able to pay out the full benefit unless Congress actually does something to revamp the Social Security system. And another thing, even if Social Security is around, I don't believe it'll be enough to actually support us every month if we were just relying on Social Security. I think the average, and give me some rope here, I think the current average payout is what, $1,500 a month? $1,500 a month, right? And look right here. Will Social Security exist when you retire? Yes, it'll likely be around. However, you may not receive the full benefit. You can go to the Social Security website, you sign up, you put in your information, they will verify that it's actually you, and you can go there and see like your projected benefit. But again, if you have 22 years or 20 plus years like my husband and I do, um, then that number that you may see on that website, they may not be able to pay that full benefit. And then also think about what life may look like when it comes to inflation. We hear about tariffs, right? And just the cost of living in general. Even if we were able to get $3,500 a month, $4,000 a month, would that realistically be enough? I mean, yeah, if we cut out everything and just live on bare bones, yes. But my husband and I already have been sacrificing. We have already been working hard. We don't want to retire early and live that way. That is just us personally. I want to still be able to help and give money if people need it. I want to be able to go to the beach. I want to be able to take a quick road trip. I want to be able to take, when I have grandkids, take them out shopping. I don't want to have to kind of penny pinch all the time when we're already saving and sacrificing now, if that makes sense. Um, and you can see right here, look at this. As of January 2025, okay, the average Social Security payout is $19.76 per month. If you were to receive, look at this, I'll highlight this, 83% of that, that will drop to $16.40 a month. That to me is not enough. I mean, rent on average is more than that. Mortgages on average is more than that. You got groceries, utilities, gas, medical expenses. Yeah, I rather just focus on the things that we can control. So if I come back here, I just listed a couple of reasons why we are so big into SCHD. Now, the last update that I did of SCHD was here. Now, I give these big interactive broker SCHD updates once a quarter because we at our goal, which is $50,000, but we want to really focus more on building up the newer position, which is in Robinhood. So I've been talking about this since October of last year, putting $10 every week. And if we can find a little bit of extra money, we'll add it here, just small amounts. And look, we're already at 20.13 shares. 20.13 shares. How many of you have been around watching me do this with small amounts of money? Okay. And our total market value is now $515.87. Slowly building out this position, even when the market has been terrible. Still investing consistently. Okay. But I wanted to come back here. So, a couple of reasons why we actually believe we believe more in investing in SCHD than relying on Social Security. And I'm just being honest with y'all. Okay. Number one is control over our money. When we invest, we are in charge. We can decide to sell. We can decide to maybe decrease our contributions, maybe increase them. We have more control. Now, the market is the market, and the market can flip a switch depending on if the president says something, if something happened globally. But in general, investing puts me in more control. My husband too. Social Security is really just controlled by the government. Look, government policies that I can't even like have an impact on. And they determine whether, we get cost of living increases for Social Security, whether it's cut. Listen, you still have to pay taxes on your Social Security. And remember, with SCHD, that is qualified. It's a qualified dividend. So you're paying either 0, 15, or 20%. I can tell you that you're going to be paying probably more than that on your day job income. Okay. So investing, you pay traditionally a lower amount in taxes. The second reason right here is that I can have a higher return. Okay, so when I'm investing in SCHD for the long term, now remember, long term is 5 to 7 years minimum. Okay, you can even say three, starting at 3, but I'm not investing in SCHD to sell it, next year. This is us building it up for the long term so that it can support us in our retirement, early retirement years. So SCHD also pays a dividend every single quarter, a nice dividend. So it gives us growth and dividends. We're thereby compounding our investment. Social Security is just a fixed payment, y'all, and it's tied to inflation. Okay, but it's just, again, there's just so many more points in the column of SCHD versus just relying on Social Security. But I understand, that's something people need to rely on. But I feel like, especially if you are in your 30s, 40s, or even 50s, there is still time to invest. And if you're over 50, you have those catch-up contributions where you can add more so that you can have like a nest egg in addition to Social Security, right? Social Security for us should be like the icing on the top or cherry on top, not just like the sole, main reason, if that makes sense. The third reason why that we like SCHD versus just relying on Social Security is that, the dividend that we get outpace inflation. So that dividend, if you get that drip turned on or if you get it paid out and you decide, hey, you know what, I want to live on it, that dividend actually can sustain you more than just Social Security. So remember, inflation is a very real thing, and you want to be able to outpace it. Well, dividend paying stocks and ETFs can help you do that. Whereas Social Security, look at this, you do get a cost of living adjustment, but that usually really lags. And I think sometimes it could be like 2%, 3%. I know if you talk to a lot of the older folks, they will tell you it is not enough. It is not enough. Even when they do the little increases, it's barely enough because everything else is going up too. So it's not really, outpacing or beating inflation. Another reason why I just prefer to invest in SCHD or just in general, is that you can pass your assets on. When you die with Social Security, your benefits die with you. Now, if you are married, like my grandfather, when he passed away, the the bigger of their, like my grandmother and him both received Social Security, but when he passed away, the spouse usually would get the bigger of the two checks. Okay, same when my dad passed away. My mom received the bigger of their two checks as well. So you don't get the same, like even when the person dies, you don't still get two checks. They just give you one, but the bigger of the two that was received. But you can't pass that on like to your to your loved ones. Whereas an investment account, you generally can, which is great. The fifth reason that we like it is because of flexibility, right? Again, with investments, I can open up a brokerage account and use that for early retirement or a freedom fund or whatever. Now I have to look at withdrawals and all of that. But generally, again, I have more flexibility with it. I can have a taxable account or a brokerage account for SCHD. I can also invest in SCHD in my Roth, which we do have it, and those taxes or those dividends, excuse me, are all tax free. So you can have it in an HSA, so you can actually choose the account type based off of your strategy, and it's just more flexibility. So Security, on the other hand, you only can have access to it in your 60. So again, I'm 40 years old. We're talking 62, I think, is the earliest, and they even give you less of a cut if you take it at 62. And that's if they don't increase the age to 70 by the time my generation comes around and needs it. So again, I just rather be on the investment train. And then here's a quick bonus, just mathematically long term. Historically, the stock market returns 7 to 9%. But what if we're in a lull or a slump, right? I have that dividend in my taxable account where I could just take the dividend. I don't have to take any withdrawals from the actual principal. I can just take the dividend and be happy and peachy. So if I come to this investment calculator that I have up, this is from calculator.net. Okay. I'll have a link below. It's a super easy calculator. But essentially, if I put up, where is it? Let's just go from this position right here, this $50,000 position. That's the starting amount. I put that in there. If I want to see how much this will grow, let's say after 15 years, let's say I decide to retire at 55. That's 15 years from now. Return rate, let's just say 6. I just showed you on average 6 to 9%. I want to be a little bit more safer, and I kind of want to mentally factor in inflation. Okay, so I'm just saying 6%. This compounds annually, and let's say I can put in $500 a month, which is rather doable for us. Okay, and I'll put it in at the beginning of the month. Okay, if I press calculate, look at this right here. But yeah, look at this. You should be able to see this. Okay, that is, the end balance will be $263,982.14. That's starting with 50,000. I just showed you the screenshot. In 15 years from now, if I put in $500 at the beginning of every month, and I can get a 6% return, something very conservative. That means I'll start out at 50, like I just showed you. We'll contribute 90,000 for the next 15 years, $500 every month. And the interest, look at this, is the compound interest, $123,982.14. That's how we'll have over 260,000 in SCHD in an taxable early retirement account. Okay, that's not counting the Roths or anything like that. Just in a taxable brokerage account for our early retirement. I could wait. What if I decide to go 10 years? Calculate it. Maybe I don't want to wait to 55. Maybe I just want to wait till 50. Retire early at 50, which is a great age, by the way. We'll have $171,174. That's with the drip and everything. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all to have that and just if I take these numbers right here, so this is 171. I'm gonna copy that, and I'm coming over to another calculator, which is from NerdWallet. I love NerdWallet. How long will this last us? So let's change this to 6% because I want it to match over here. I just want to see how long would this 171,000 last us. So we got up to that amount, right? Took us 10 years. How long will that last us? So I'm putting in tax rate. Okay, so remember, SCHD is a qualified dividend ETF. So that means anything that we make from it will be subjected to either 0, 15, or 20%. I'm just going to do 15%. I have the amount here. Let's say we want to take $1,200 every month. When that time comes, that money will last us 18 years. 18 years. Let's say we want to take $1,500 from SCHD. Again, with what we have saved up right here, right? It took us 10 years to get to this. We have the number here. How long will that last us? 13 years. Let's say we want to, have some fun and take a $2,000 distribution from our SCHD position. Look at that. 8 years. Now we wouldn't take 2,000 out. I think we would probably try to do like 1,500 or so like that. That would last us 13 years. And again, this is in a taxable account. This is not meant for traditional retirement. We have a 401k. We have HSAs. We have Roths. That's what that is for. But early retirement, to know that at age 50, if we decided to retire at 50 early, from this one investment alone. And we have others. If you've been watching me, we have a lot of money invested in taxable accounts and other positions as well. This is just SCHD. We could take $1,500 a month and it would last us 13 years. So from age 50 to 63, we would at least have 1,500 from just that. That's not any other, income withdrawals from our other positions in our taxable accounts. We have 3 rental properties. That's not counting that. We have 2 side businesses. One is MT, Mommy Trader. How you watching me? I make money from my side business. So again, it's about diversifying your assets and really thinking about, Social Security is great. If we get it, it'll be a nice cherry on top. But I want to have a say in our future. And investing gives us that say. And so I wanted to answer that question. I was going to make the video in the car, but I was like, no, I need to actually be a little bit more thorough with this because it was a great question. And it should be encouraging to all of you to have more control over your future. If you started late and you just don't have enough and Social Security is there to help, that's great. It's always great. But I personally just don't want to have that as the only source of income, right? I don't want that to be the only source of income because just the cost of living is expensive now. Think about 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 years into the future. What average rents will cost, a car payment, gas, food. So I hope I answered your question. And let me know down below, guys, are you kind of thinking on the same wavelength as I am? Yeah, because I don't really talk a whole lot about Social Security on my channel. I really try to focus on the things we can control. So yeah, let me know down below. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without all of you. So thank you so much. And until next time, y'all already know, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.